The other thing we do, in addition to that song portion, the buzzing, is we breathe, and that is the wind. And this is particularly important for me as a tuba player because the tuba requires a ton of air. So these exercises, I use them a lot. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do something nice and slow for relaxation. So we're going to breathe in for 4 counts, and then we're going to breathe out for 4 counts. And I want you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, do you feel nice and relaxed now? The next exercise we're going to do involves using our imagination. So I want you to imagine that you are holding a paper airplane in your hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to yawn in, take a nice relaxed breath, and then we're going to blow out our air, and we're going to use that to support our airplane. All right, so let's breathe in and throw. Now you have to be careful because as the paper airplane gets farther away, you're going to have to use more air to support it because after all, the airplane is farther away. So let's do that one more time.
My name is Danny and I'm the trombone player in the Oakwood Brass Quintet. This trombone that you see here before you today is actually not so different from the original trombone built way back in the 1400s. The first trombone was originally created to mimic the human voice and to play in churches. As you've heard from the other members of Oakwood, most brass instruments use valves to change the pitch, but my instrument, on the other hand, only has the slide to play with. So, does anybody know the name of the song that I just played? If you said row, row, row your boat, you would be correct. Row, row, row your boat is what we call a musical round. Can we all say round together? Round. That's nice, right? So a round is when we have at least 3 voices playing the exact same melody, but we all start at different times. So you'd think it might be a little chaotic and probably fall apart, but I don't know. Let's check it out. A round is when we have at least 3 separate voices playing the exact same melody, but we all start at different times. So I love playing with the Oakwood Brass Quintet, but I get to play with them all the time, and I wanted to see if you guys would play with us. So what we're going to do is your teacher is going to split all of you into 3 separate groups. So let's pause here and give them some time to do that. All right, group 1, you're up first. 1, 2, here we go. Now group 2. Here's group 3. So the next piece we're going to play for you all was written by Johann Sebastian Bach, and it is Contrapunctus number 9 from his book, The Art of Fugue. Can we all say fugue together? Fugue. That's another great word. So a fugue is really similar to a musical round in that we have the same melody being played over and over again at different times, and it creates these really interesting harmonies. So here's the theme to Bach's fugue. So what I really hear about that theme is those first two notes. I hear that low note jumping up to the high note. Sounds like this. So as soon as I hear that, I know that the theme has started again. So when you're listening to this piece, listen for those first two notes, the low note and the high note, for when the theme comes in. And when you hear the theme come in, go ahead and raise your hand.
So on the next piece we're going to be playing for you, it is called That's a Plenty. It's another jazz standard, and it features R2 trumpets. This is a traditional jazz standard. It's a quick step, actually. So often audience members would be dancing to it. It's a lot of fun. It's a movement with energy and pace. And be sure that you really start moving and grooving when you listen to this work. Now, the traditional brass quintet consists of two trumpets, a horn, a trombone, and a tuba. With the trumpet, we get the melody a lot. Since our instrument is the highest of the brass instruments and it's the brightest, it typically plays on top. It plays lyrical and lead melodies throughout. So please listen for those melodies throughout That's a Plenty.
The next piece you're going to hear is Astor Piazzolla's Oblivion, and you're going to hear Cameron play solo over that with an instrument called a flugelhorn.
So this flugelhorn is just like a normal trumpet. However, it has a little bit mellower and warmer of a sound. So we're going to show a little bit of a demonstration on the difference between the nature of these two instruments. Now with the flugelhorn, it's a little bit more conical in nature than our cylindrical trumpet. So you're going to hear that in how the sound kind of grows and blossoms throughout the register, while the trumpet can kind of stay focused and compact throughout. Let's have Nico play C. And we're going to play a selection from Oblivion, just so you can hear how different it sounds in context. Did you hear a difference between the two instruments? We call that a change in color or timbre. Now, these instruments, this is a little bit fluffier, uses a slightly deeper mouthpiece, and the trumpet is a lot more narrow, so it uses a smaller mouthpiece. But they both play the same, they use the same fingerings, and any trumpet player will have the opportunity to play one of these.
So we'll tell you a little bit about the piece. Astor Piazzolla was a composer from Argentina who really started his career composing tangos, which is traditional folk music of Argentina. It would be typically played in bars and other such settings. Piazzolla was the first to take it into the concert stage. This particular tango is very famous, and it's a very beautiful example of his rich writing.
While you guys are listening to Oblivion, please pay attention to the sound of the flugelhorn and how it changes the context of the work when the flugelhorn is in and when it's out. I hope you enjoy.